Maybe the most handsome man in America today, Jim Everett, the man who led the National Football League in touchdown passes. Do you think that teams are just too quick to fire guys?
I do think that we get more of a knee-jerk reaction saying if we just fire everybody, we'll have a better opportunity.
What are your power rankings of those 6 guys that went in the top 12 last year?
Matthew Stafford right now is the best quarterback the Los Angeles Rams has ever had. You just don't get the same coverage, Ricky, on the East Coast.
My guest today is a friend of the program and the man who led the National Football League in touchdown passes in 1988 and 1989. It is always a pleasure to welcome to the program the Pro Bowler, maybe the most handsome man in America today, Jim Everett joins me.
Ricky.
Jim.
Man,
how's
it's always
going,
good.
Man?
It's always be good being with you. But I wish that I could put some bobbleheads over here or over here like you got, because those are some cool ass bobbleheads, Ricky.
Having a little bobblehead envy going on right now. I can't blame you. You know, there's Dale Murphy over my shoulder. There, yeah. Wait a minute, I'm getting in his way now. No, there's Murph, who it'd be nice if he makes it into the Hall of Fame. You know, he's up again.
And I see a little Nolan Ryan over there. I see Nolan Ryan over there on the right when you pulled out. He's one of my faves.
Yeah,
man.
you do. Let's pull back. Let me do show and tell here with Jim. All right, we've got, now Larry is kind of blocked by the equipment here, but then I've got George Gervin there. Then Earl Campbell and Nolan Ryan on the end. Yeah.
Hey, man, there was nobody that hit a Ram harder than Earl Campbell when he knocked,
oh, my God,
Mike Wilcher out.
Isaiah Robertson.
Well, that's right. It was Isaiah.
Yeah. Knocked him into next year, man. That's the greatest run of Earl Campbell's career.
I think he knocked him out of the league.
Say wherever. Oh, my God. And that guy was like a multi-time Pro Bowl guy. I mean, Isaiah Robertson was a bad man.
Oh, he was. I remember when I first got there, Ricky, he drove up in this limo, and he had been out of the league for a little bit. And he's like, hey, Rook, get in my car. And I had to ask everyone else, should I go with him? And they're like, no.
That would not be advisable. Yeah, I had a conversation with him one time. I tried to set up an interview with him years ago. I ended up talking to him for about 15 minutes. I think he was trying to figure out if I was legit or not. And then it never happened. I'm kind of regretting that right now.
Well, Ricky, I can
Jim,
tell you
I don't even know.
Real quick, I didn't mean to step on you, but
go ahead.
You're legit. All your viewers know you're legit. And you know what? I think that, your staff is legit, and they're all good-looking people. All the people you have on staff, Ricky. I don't know what you're doing.
They are. They're so good-looking, Jim. I mean, it's the sexiest staff is what I think. And then we're so positive. We just compliment each other to keep it going, just like you're looking great today. Well, thank you.
Oh, thank you.
You're looking
Ricky,
great today.
So are you. Look at that one. You got the California Fair shirt on. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's all right. So, Jim, I don't even know where we're going to begin here. I'm going to begin with something that my team gave me. I'm going to have you. We are now a year and a half in from the 2024 quarterback class. And I remember growing up, everybody talked about 83. 83, 83, 83. What a great, and it clearly was. But 2024 stands up there pretty, what do we have? Marino, Todd Blackledge.
Blackledge.
Yeah.
Now, Marino went 6th, I want you to know. And Elway was the first guy taken in that draft, and you had 6 guys taken the first round. I mean, 83 was the quarterback draft. Not all of them were Dan Marino, John Elway, and those types, but 6 guys taken the first round, very similar to 2024. And I see why you're bringing it up, because there's some ballers in this class.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's crazy. I'm gonna take you through it in order. The top 6 from last year. Caleb Williams, of course, here in Chicago, number 1 overall. Jayden Daniels, number 2 overall, and we heard about it in Chicago all year because as the season went on and Jayden Daniels was having such an exceptional rookie year, took him all the way, obviously, to the NFC Championship game. So we heard a lot. Caleb Williams, was that a mistake? Now, the guy who was taken 3rd overall is starting to get some of that sunshine. Drake May, who has been incredible this year. And then Michael Penix Jr. was the surprise at number 8. Kirk Cousins, probably still isn't over the shock of that yet. J.J. McCarthy, 10. And we're seeing some things to like about J.J. McCarthy when he's healthy enough to be on the field. He seems like
a national champion, J.J. McCarthy.
Yeah.
A guy that knows how to win.
Yeah, and you see it. I mean, you can see his intangibles are tangible. You know what I mean? Yeah. You can see it when he's on the field. And then Bo Nix at number 12, who is off to a rather promising start to his career at this point. And I'm sure Sean Payton is very, very happy with him. So
he's probably the most Breeze-esque look type quarterback. It reminds Sean Payton of Drew Brees, and he's performing like that.
Yeah, he most certainly is. So there's 6, pretty good names. Now, if we were going to redraft tomorrow, all right, you, as I said at the top, you led the league in touchdown passes twice, Pro Bowl quarterback. You know the league in and out. You've seen these kids now for a year and a half. If we had a do-over, what are your power rankings of those 6 guys that went in the top 12 last year?
Okay.
Current.
So
understand.
Okay, so Ricky,
this is a moving target.
I know. I got to tell you this because where you're drafted is important. So just because Williams didn't have Ben Johnson his rookie year doesn't mean that Williams wasn't the guy. He didn't have the coaching. Because Jayden Daniels had Cliff Kingsbury and some very talented people around him in a system that he could step into, and Dan Quinn's on defense, they were very successful. So I'm not opposed with the talent with Williams at all. And I think we're seeing that more with Chicago. And I said, Williams' first 8 games are going to be different than his next 8 games. So I think the best we're going to see, and Ben Johnson's just putting his footprint on that offense. So we took May, for example. He's having a heck of a year, but he's got a great offensive coordinator up there that did a lot of good things with Tom Brady. So he walked into a different situation. Daniels walked into a different situation than Williams did. Michael Penix in Atlanta. I love him. I absolutely love him. I think he's running. If you put Michael Penix in a Kyle Shanahan run offense, I think it's entirely different. I mean, Penix would blow Brock Purdy out of the water, but they need to move him a little bit more. J.J. McCarthy, Bo Nix. Bo Nix is the right guy in the right system. So, I mean, if you move Bo Nix up to Chicago, I don't think that's advantageous for Chicago. I think it's working out just like it needed to be. And I think you look on talent. I don't think Daniel moves to number 1, even though he got more wins. I think Williams was they were drafting first for a reason. So they needed that, the draft picks and all the different stuff. But the Bears had notoriously, I think they found their quarterback. I hope they stick with him. They got an offensive coordinator that knows what he's doing, put a team around him, and I think it's good. So, Ricky, man, I don't know. I think it still goes Williams, Daniels, May. I really do. I think you might want to move up Bo Nix, but you put Bo Nix in Atlanta, and I don't think he has the success. So I think it's the system with what tools the guys bring to the trade. And I know that's hard to digest as a fan because you want to say, hey, you put Elway in any system and he's going to kill it. Well, that's not really true. John Elway didn't win his first Super Bowl until Shanahan showed up in Denver, and then he won 2. So the offense that you are in, I don't think I would have been successful throwing, the league leading touchdowns if I didn't have Dan Fouts' offensive coordinator, Ernie Zampese. So it's the whole thing. You got to have the right game, the right dice, the whole thing. I mean, you can't expect to win at risk, and you're an expert at Monopoly. You just can't do it.
All right, Jim. Now this is a great topic here because we have seen some guys. This year is a great example, and last year as well. Last year, certainly Sam Darnold, the year that he had in Minnesota, they opted to draft. They already had McCarthy. They opted to just decide that they were going to proceed with McCarthy, which was their plan before Sam Darnold blew up last year. He has gone to Seattle, and he is solidifying so far that 2024 was not a mirage, but it was a real level up for Sam Darnold. Baker Mayfield, over the course of the last 2-3 years, suddenly it's like, oh, well, wait a minute. Baker Mayfield now is one of the most respected guys, MVP candidate. Suddenly, both of those guys were teammates in Carolina, Jim.
And they were on the practice squad.
Circulates around the internet. Yeah, I mean, Carolina had Darnold and Mayfield and managed to squander that away into nothing. Daniel Jones, basically, just they were ready to run him out of New York. Suddenly he's Indiana Jones now, and the Indianapolis Colts are relevant again. And Mac Jones, we're talking about Drake May. Mac Jones even spelling Brock Purdy in San Francisco this year. It's like, oh, wait a minute. I remember the reason that people were so high on Mac Jones at one time. And so, Jim, in this, we live in like this instant results world, right? Where we want to just have a hot take on everything. This is the best, that's the worst. But it's not that simple, is it?
No, it's not. I mean, you look at Baker Mayfield, and I thought, I didn't really have him coming first off the board. I really liked Josh Allen, and he ended up coming off third, I think, even behind Sam Darnold, who went to the Jets. And I love Sam Darnold. He was just put in such a crazy situation in New York, and it never got any better from the coaching, from the personnel, and then it's all the quarterback schools. And let's change out the head coach every 2 years. You can't get any rhythm. You look at Green Bay's offense. You had a guy up there, a Brett Favre, then you bring in Aaron Rodgers behind him, and then right behind that you bring in, Love. 3 guys over 3 decades. I mean, it's crazy. And then you go to some other teams like Cleveland, and they go through 45 guys in 10 years at quarterback. I mean, with how many different systems? I remember Bernie Kosar. Here's a name for the class. He played in 8 years and had 8 different offensive coordinators. I don't know how you can be good doing that, and you just can't. So you got the system, like I said, the Shanahan system is pretty good.
That's crazy.
What they're running, what Sean McVay's running, what Matthew Stafford's doing, and I'll say this right here on the set. Matthew Stafford right now is probably, or I'll say it for factual, is the best quarterback the Los Angeles Rams has ever had. He is absolutely balling. The way he's doing the no-look passes, the way he's being able to work with Devontae Adams and Puka. So, anyways, I put in my little – I always say that the MVP candidates coming from the West Coast is rare unless you're Joe Montana, but you just don't get the same coverage, Ricky, on the East Coast, because when you're on the West Coast, people are turning their TVs off on the East Coast because they're going to bed. It's 12 o'clock at night. But on the West Coast, you're watching all the East Coast games because it's still in the afternoon. So I just think that Matthew Stafford's just not getting the love, especially in that MVP vote that's going on. 20-some touchdowns, a few picks. He's just balling.
He really is. And he was so underrated for so long. But you look at Matthew, and the stats back it up, right? You go and you look at his statistics, and it's like, I don't know how many yards he's thrown for in his career at this point, but he's got to be, I figure he's in the top 10 all time in the league.
Yeah, he's like 9 or something like that.
Yeah.
But, I think, Ricky, it comes down to this. With head coaches, I think you're eventually looked at as how many wins have you had and how many losses have you had? And, a guy like Mike Tomlin, you look at that, they're saying, oh, he's a 9-8 coach or whatever. But he wins every year. That's why he's been coaching for 20-some years in the NFL or whatever it is. It's hard to do. It's hard to get those victories, and it's hard for teams, especially when you go through the rebuild process, to keep wins going. I went through that through my career, in the middle of my career, and man, it's just brutal when you've got a bunch of young guys going crazy, and you see rebuild after rebuild. And I look at it now from my experience and go, like, they don't have a chance. And the guy we didn't mention on here is Spencer Rattler, which was a second-round pick in that same 2024 draft, and he just got moved out for Tyler Shook, but down in New Orleans, which I think they should have been doing a rebuild a couple of years ago to keep up with the Tampa Bays, with the Baker Mayfields and Michael Penix in Atlanta.
Jim, do you think that teams are just too quick to fire guys? I know the grass is always greener on the other side of the fence. I'm sure there are times where front offices, somebody's got to be the fall guy and the GM doesn't want it to be him. I know that there are, reasons that go into these things, but, you're talking about Green Bay and that stability that they've had at the quarterback position, 3 quarterbacks in 30 plus years. And then you look at the Steelers, you're talking about Tomlin, right? 3 head coaches since 1969. And it just seems like in the world of coaching, whether it's football, other sports, but it seems especially true in football, you always feel like you can just fire your way out of your problems. Let's get rid of it. This guy's been here. We don't like it. Fuck this guy. He's gone. Bring in somebody. And I saw us do it in Chicago again and again and again. It's Mark Trestman. No, it's John Fox. No, it's Matt Nagy. Now it's Eberflus. Now it's, and finally, hopefully we've settled on it with Ben Johnson here. But I look at Tennessee, for instance, right? And I don't know everything that went into this. I don't know if this was just pure stupidity or if there were personality clashes, but they let Mike Vrabel go, coach of the year. That he goes, they bring in Callahan, they draft Cam Ward number 1, and then what's the best thing you can do, Jim, if you have a young quarterback? Fire the coach 4 or 5 games into the season. That'll help. What do you think when you look at a situation like if you're Cam Ward and you come in, you're saying all the right things, he seems like a good kid, he comes in, obviously talented, wouldn't have been number 1 some years, let's be real about that, but in this year's draft, he was the guy, and now you got a new coach and you're dealing with that, and it seems like a dumpster fire. What's your take on that situation?
Oh, I think it really parallels. I think if we look through some of the history, Ricky, and I think you're very astute with how you're looking at it. Is it relates very much to Troy Aikman. Troy Aikman comes to a Dallas Cowboy team. He's a UCLA guy. Actually, he threw the ball in college to my boy Flipper, and so. He goes and they have a back named Herschel Walker, and in midseason, Herschel Walker gets traded out to Minnesota for a boatload of picks. Well, Troy ends up, the season's kind of over. Dallas makes big picks and their season's over. Oh, that sounds like this year. Anyways, but we're going. Troy does not win a game his rookie year. He's like 0-11. I think the team was like 1-15 because they won one earlier. But so
that's right. Steve Walsh got the win.
Yeah, so
that year.
All of a sudden they use these draft picks, and here comes Emmitt Smith, and here comes Michael Irvin, here comes the rescue, and then all of a sudden Troy's Hall of Fame material. So it gets back to the point of who's building, with what blocks, with which system, and can we have these all peak together at the same time? It's like it's always a moving thing, and that's what the fans don't get. It's like biorhythms or whatever. Can we have everybody on the top part, or at least if you're on the backside of your career, coming down slope, not too far away? Here's a great example of that is Eric Weddle. That's a crazy name. He played down in San Diego, was a safety. But I guarantee you, when the Rams won that last Super Bowl, they don't win it if Eric Weddle doesn't come in out of retirement, comes in and becomes the defensive captain during the playoffs. Now, he was on the back end of his career, matter of fact, the last few games of his career, but his leadership skills and what he brought to that defense, and he made some great plays during that Super Bowl run. So it just makes a difference what people you have at what time in their career. And anyways, I don't mean to go on and on about it, but I do think that we get more of a knee-jerk reaction saying if we just fire everybody, we'll have a better opportunity. But you're seeing that constantly with the Jets. And Ricky, this is my last soapbox thing I'll say, is when they go and hire a new person for, say, a rookie quarterback. If Cam Ward gets a new coach next year, I would really hope that they bring in an offensive-minded coach that's going to be there with Cam and then grow him through a system. Because what happens when they hire the defensive coordinator like they did in New York, as soon as your offense becomes good, he becomes the head coach of some other team, and then you're rebuilding on the offensive side, which is very tough. I mean, and so when Matthew Stafford is hooked up with the Sean McVay mind, and they get the years of experience together, it's powerful. And I don't think people realize how powerful that relationship can be. And you want those two intact from your system and your quarterback.
Jim, I want to follow up with you on Eric Weddle, because I remember at the time, just thinking to myself, how do you do that? This is a guy who, like you said, at the end of his career, I mean, for all we knew, his career was over. Right. And then suddenly he becomes an integral part. As you said, they may not win it without him.
Well, they don't win it. They do not.
Yeah, wait, okay.
I've said this, Ricky.
Okay, there you go.
There is no medal without the Weddle.
Okay, all right. I will defer to you on that. How did he do that? How are you out of, because I think of it as like, just something as simple as like you're playing pickup basketball or something, and you show up and like the other guys have already been running for an hour. And so, you get out, I was young, I didn't need to stretch, but you get in the game and you're going around, everybody else is loose, everybody else is in the flow, and it takes you a game or two of running to feel like, okay, I'm in the flow of this now. How at the highest level that there is, can a guy basically, to over-exaggerate it, get off of his couch and then become the difference maker in winning the Super Bowl? How the hell did he do that?
Well, first of all, Eric is like a coach on the field. Eric Weddle is very cerebral. He could be coach. He could have coached any defense in the NFL anytime he wanted to. He's that talented. So mentally wise, you got to realize they also had Jalen Ramsey there. They had good talent there. What they were getting from their safety play was irresponsibility. And Eric knew his responsibility. He knew everyone else's responsibility, and he knew it so well they gave him the green dot in the helmet and made him captain. Just in those days he was there. That's how much trust that Sean McVay had in him.
I'm the captain now.
It was the right guy at the right time, and it was and I'm amazed at it. But he made some plays. Physically, yeah, he's gonna be a step behind, but mentally he was 2 steps ahead of the guys he took the place of.
They should make a mini 30 for 30 on that one day or something, because it fascinates me. Okay, Jim. All right, now here's one that you're going to remember for sure. I want to throw this up. Thank God you played in the greatest era for posters. And yes, fortunately, you did not miss your opportunity to have one of the greatest posters of the entire era here. I don't know. Do we have it to put up? There, yes. There it is. General Blade, right there. Take me through how this slice of genius came about into reality, Jim.
Okay, so John Kostakos was the guy that was behind this whole thing, and if you haven't interviewed him, Ricky, you need to interview him. The guy's full of stories. He's got everything. A lot of the quarterbacks were doing one-offs. I think they had a Jim McMahon doing some deal, and some other guy doing a bomber jacket thing. I don't remember what it was, but I told John, I go, the only way I'm going to do a poster is if my 5 guys are with me. And that's just how I was. I wanted my offensive line to do everything with me. And we did. Matter of fact, I bought the night we did that photo shoot. This would be pretty fun. I took them all out afterwards. We're going to do this photo shoot, and we're going to take this limo, and we're all going to go out. And if you look down the bottom right, that's Doug Smith, and he doesn't drink, but he drank that night. And the stories I could tell you, Ricky, were really fun. We had an absolute ball that night. But how it came is Blade. I was in a team picture, and Dennis Harrow, who has his arms on me right there, he goes, "Damn, Blade." He's from West Virginia. He goes, "You got a bunch of us pie faces in front of you, and you see a blade of grass back there. We're just going to call you Blade." And from then, my name stuck. And so I've been General Blade ever since. And the rest of the stuff was kind of fun. But that's the story where Dennis Harrow gave me the number, and Doug Smith just got rocked out the night we went out. I love it.
I love it. Iconic. And, my girlfriend, by the way, my girlfriend, Leslie, she sends her regards. You are her favorite quarterback. So once she knows that this exists, we're moving into a new house later this month, Jim, Leslie and I. So I'm afraid that might end up being a part of our interior decoration if I'm not careful, because she's
keep it in the garage, Ricky.
Yeah, it's going to end up somewhere. That might be the compromise. Okay, honey, we can have it, but Jim himself said that it needs to go into
the utility room.
Now. It's a utility room deck. Yeah. Every time that I'm getting my dirty underwear, I can look up and see General Blade in the battalion there. All right, Jim, I got a little bit of a rapid fire round of just some fun stuff, because I know you I are like-minded on this stuff. All right, some of this is football, some of this is not. And then when we wrap up, I'm going to let you do America's Poll of the Day with me. Because I know you'll be great with that. All right. What, in your opinion, is the best football movie, or at least your favorite?
Best football movie. I'm thinking of a couple different ones. I like the kid when I forgot the name of it right off, Ricky. Where the kid was adopted. The offensive lineman. I love that.
The Blind Side.
Blind Side. That's probably the one. I just like the human element of that and the support that's needed to play. I think that's cool. I could have picked The Longest Yard because I get the biggest chuckle out of that. I mean, back in the day. But all these criminals playing, of course, they're going to play dirty. So I don't know. I like Blind Side.
I broke his friggin' neck. It was always my favorite part of that one. Jim, did you ever see Heaven Can Wait? As a Rams quarterback, or are you obligated to see Heaven Can Wait at some point? It would be wrong.
Well, that was way before. It came out way before I was a Ram quarterback, I think. So I don't know what year that came in. So, I mean, I did remember seeing, I think he was number 16. I remember that because Jared Goff was 16. But, I remember that. It didn't have a major impact, not like The Longest Yard deal, but I'm still going to stick with the human component of adoption.
All right. Yeah, that's a good answer. All right. Favorite Michael Jackson song?
Thriller. Oh, yeah. That's that was one of the things about our generation is I don't think we really realized how talented that human was. And there was all this stuff about his private life and this or that, what was true, what was not. It was the gossips on. But man, he was one of the best singers ever, Ricky. And I appreciate his work, and his talent is just like, watch him do all the different physical stuff as well as singing was just unbelievable. But Thriller.
Oh, first time I saw him moonwalk, I think it was like the American Music Awards or something. And he moonwalked, and like suddenly every dorky, 13-year-old white boy in America was trying to moonwalk, including me. And some of the terrible moonwalks that I did. Yeah. Moonwalking for my mom. How was this? Was this good? Yeah, that was great, Ricky.
Ricky, the only way I could moonwalk
Ricky.
if I had freaking skates on my feet. That's it. That's the only way.
I know. All right, Jim. All-time favorite sitcom.
Oh, wow. All-time favorite sitcom. All right.
I'm putting you on the spot here with some of these questions.
Yeah, you are. Man, I'm gonna be that bad if I just go straight up to Archie Bunker right now and just say,
No.
I love that. I love
Always
Good
a
Times. Man, it was, people could say whatever, call someone meatball and it'd be okay still. It was just a crazy time, where son-in-laws could be meatheads, and it was crazy. But I do think that had a major impact. One of the series that I loved, I'm going to have to say also up there, was Gilligan's Island. I'm going to say that.
Yes.
I think we could probably go through, are we Marianne? Are we Ginger? We could just really dive into that, Ricky, like probably two dudes could.
It's the question, Jim. It's what we're going to. So,
Oh, we're going there?
Which is it? Now, I will say, the older I get, as I've tweeted before, Jim, I don't know if you've seen it or not, but I realize now at age 54 that Lovey Howell is a part of that conversation. She is the alternative there. I'm just saying that at some point in the male aging process, Mrs. Howell becomes a yes. Jim.
Ricky, as soon as you go to me and say Gilligan's an option as well, I'm going to start getting worried. Okay. But as we're going to cut to the nonsense right here, and I'm straight up.
I'd have to be on the island a long time for that. Okay, you're a Marianne guy. Yeah. All right, I'm a Ginger guy. I don't know. She's very glamorous. She's the only surviving member of the cast now, Jim. Ginger.
Is she really?
She's the last castaway that we have left.
Yeah.
But,
so that's where we go. I'm glad we're surfing around on different subjects on this, but because I really wanted to get off the some of the other stuff, but I just don't think they make movies like that. And the fact that these people could be shipwrecked for so long on an island just is an incredible feat.
Yeah. All right. All right. Here, I got two more for you. Hall and Oates or Kenny Loggins?
Kenny Loggins. I do like Hall and Oates. It's almost like saying M&M's with nuts or not. It's just like they're both good.
No wrong.
Kenny Loggins. Yeah.
All right. And lastly, best breakfast cereal mascot.
Oh,
we grew up in the era where every breakfast cereal had some mascot.
Yeah, you're right.
Tony the Tiger. You had Lucky the Leprechaun, Sugar Bear. Toucan Sam.
Toucan Sam.
He followed his nose. Yeah.
Wait, how about the Captain?
Some of those. Trix Rabbit. Yeah. There you go.
I remember eating some Captain Crunch, wondering what happened to the roof of my mouth and blaming the captain. I'm like,
yeah, somebody's got to be held responsible for that. Yeah, it was his fucking ship. We'll blame him for it. All right, Jim.
Wait.
Let's do this right now.
But there was nothing better than the Tiger. I think the Tiger is an all-timer. He's, and as long as the captain just whipped him up, that'd be good.
Yeah, it's a roster of all-stars. All right, Jim, we're going to make a little bit of history here. This is normally a segment I do with my sidekick Ronnie t-shirts, but today you are my co-pilot, and it's time for America's Poll of the Day, and let's go to it now at Super 70 Sports on X, where the Eagle flies higher than Jim Everett's passing yards would be if he played in 2025. And I have a feeling that Jim would log a couple of 5,000-yard seasons in this era. Yeah. All right, Jim, here are the options that we have today. And these are, again, randomly put together just to see what people say. And I started it off, a little nod to you. I tossed in your former backfield mate for a brief time. The great Eric Dickerson is the first choice. Second option is Bonnie Tyler, Total Eclipse of the Heart.
Oh, yeah.
As you no doubt remember from the early 1980s. Third, we have Pizza Rolls, always a snack time favorite. And then lastly, a little bit of a nod to Los Angeles as well, the Hollywood Walk of Fame. So, Jim, take me through it and give me your thoughts on the relative merits of these.
Man, I tell you what, I was sitting there looking at that, and Eric Dickerson, what a season he had in '85, and career he had, Hall of Fame guy, total eclipse of the heart. Oh man, that just pulls on me right there. That just goes to a whole different emotional level in my brain. Pizza rolls, man, they're always available for you. They're just there for you, no matter through thick or thin. If you're having a great day or a down day, a pizza roll will pick you up. And then the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
That's right.
That crazy place out there is just nuts, right? So each one of these hits such a different component. But I'm going to say the one that's most well-rounded, the one that can just be available for you, no matter if you got a tear or a smile, is going to be pizza rolls. That's it.
That's it. All right. So I love the fact that you played with Eric Dickerson and you just selected pizza rolls. But it's not a knock on Eric Dickerson. That's the thing that people have to understand. This is a poll of all great things. There are no losers in America's poll of the day.
Thank you. And Eric's great. When pizza rolls, they don't want to be traded. But pizza rolls don't want to be traded.
No, they don't. Yeah. They never asked to be let out of the freezer so that they can go to Indianapolis or somewhere else, Yeah, you can count on pizza rolls. Total eclipse of the heart. I'm with you on that one. They're not. They're not. In fact, they're really cheap. That's one of their best qualities. They'll play for damn near free, And like you said, always there, no matter how many times you want to go to the well. Eric Dickerson, he was a bell cow. So are pizza rolls. You know what I mean? You can just have 30
Ricky,
or 40
where are we at on the
voting
on the All-American? Where are we at with this voting? Are we in the majority? Where are we at? Do we know?
Yeah. All right. Well, there's only one way to find out. So let's go to the results here. Light the candle, Tim, and let's see what the public has to say, because we always find out over 2,700 votes in here. And Pizza Rolls is getting the nod. Look at that. Pizza Rolls, first place over Eric Dickerson. Total Eclipse of the Heart, third. And then, what kind of disrespect is happening to the Hollywood Walk of Fame here?
Hey, Ricky, when I come over to your new house and have Leslie heat us up some pizza rolls, please.
Yes. That's it. Throw on a little Bonnie Tyler, and we'll have it made. All right, Jim. Look, let us know where people can find you. Let my audience know where they can keep up with you, because they need to know everything that's going on right now with Jim Everett.
Well, Ricky, you can find me on X at Jim_Everett. And, I try to keep it light with a little bit of fun. Don't take me too serious, a little grain of salt. I just like to play with stuff around the whole league. I like to, I try to stay as much as away from the political theater. There's too many people contributing to that already. But if you want to have some NFL fun, or you got some humor, or you want some good time, and I love your stuff, Ricky. I'm an avid follower of Ricky, and highly recommend anybody that's on X to follow you as well.
All right, Jim. Thank you, my brother. It is always a pleasure having you on. Good stuff. I feel like we covered the whole range today. So I appreciate you, my brother, and look forward to talking to you again soon.
Hey, I'm looking forward to that pizza roll. I'll see you later, Ricky.
That's it. You got yourself a deal. It's going to happen. Always a good time when Jim Everett joins the program. And I wanted to give Jim a little run there, because he's a Super 70s guy. We share a lot of the same sensibilities with music and pop culture. And so you got a little taste of that there. But it seems like doing the poll, I should be welcoming to the program, warming up in the bullpen, the international streaming star who joins me as always from Nashville, Tennessee. He is, of course, Ronnie T-shirts. Ronnie.
What the hell?
Ron, do you remember Steve Bartkowski?
Well, yeah, what the hell, dude? I thought
Steve Bartkowski?
I mean, it's not in my contract, but I guess it's implied, dude.
Now.
I do the America's Poll of the Day. What the hell?
Yeah. Well, as I said, Steve Bartkowski
Should I be concerned?
and yourself now are
Should I be concerned?
Eskimo brothers, because Jim Everett has now replaced both of you at different junctures in his career. 1986 with the Rams, he tapped Steve Bartkowski on the shoulder and said, "I'm gonna be the quarterback now."
Wait, is that what I felt?
Just hopped
is
on
that what I felt? I felt something, and I looked, and I need to see. That's what I felt, huh? Yeah. So let me ask you a question.
Yes.
How hard was it for you to try to figure out something that would perform worse than poodles?
I had no idea the Hollywood Walk of Fame would do that badly.
Dude,
what was the Poodles? Is this worse than Poodles?
Yeah, Poodles was 3.
Did Poodles
this was 2. Yeah.
It only held the record for like 2 days or something.
So
it's insane.
As I do every day, I look at the poll and I start to think about, okay, what am I going to say? How am I going to say it? Blah, 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 blah. So that's what I did. I didn't realize that I was, getting Wally pipped here. But what I was going to say about the Hollywood Walk of Fame is I would be hard pressed to come up with anything that I care less about. Like, wow. But I guess I'm not alone. I'm clearly not alone.
Well, I've seen it a couple of times. It was cool, especially the first time, because you've heard about it your whole life. Growing up in Horse Cave, Kentucky, the Hollywood Walk of Fame sounded pretty amazing, and it was prestigious, and all of the names were out there. So the first time I saw it, you're walking along and you're just like, hey, look, Hal Linden. That's great. And then you take a couple more steps.
That's the name that you came up with to illustrate. It was Hal Linden.
I don't know.
Here's the deal, dude.
Yeah.
I've been to the Pro Football Hall of Fame, and I was just incredibly impressed, and I loved it. But you do understand, acting is easy, so getting something on the walk of the Hollywood Walk of Fame is not that big a deal. In case you care,
giving it out to everybody.
In case you care, Eric Dickerson. I first fell in love with Eric Dickerson when he was with the Pony Express. I thought he was one of my favorite running backs of the 80s. Like, he was a badass, absolute badass. So, I don't know if Jim was trying to be funny or what, but I can't believe he didn't pick Eric.
Well, as Jim said, Pizza Rolls never asked to be traded. He was only with Eric Dickerson for a short time, and then Eric wanted out of town. And as you recall, he ended up going to the Indianapolis Colts. But Pizza Rolls, they're there for you whenever you need them. I think that's the fucking funniest thing ever.
No, it is. It is.
Dickerson's QB on the show, and he takes.
Yeah, it is. Hopefully, Eric. Hopefully, Eric will see this and he'll have a comment, because it is kind of funny.
All right, Ronnie. Let's go to poll replies, and my laptop is down today.
So am I reading?
So you are my eyes today, Ron. As we look at poll replies, you can see the results. We got. It is going to be.
Pizza rolls.
Wow. I can see that, but I won't be able to read what people are saying, however. Man, Hollywood Walk of Fame, people could not give a shit less.
So the Moops, our good friend the Moops, says Eric Dickerson's a legend. Been a fan since the Pony Express days. That's what I said. Could run over you or around you, and don't get me started on how badass he looked, whether on the field or next to his golden Trans Am.
He was the first guy to take a pay cut when he went to the NFL, I think.
Absolutely.
So, man, they were fun, though. Craig James
Yep.
and Eric Dickerson, man. Those guys were some of the coolest dudes going at the time, Ron.
Yep, absolutely. We've got Chris Villasenor. If you're not going to choose Total Eclipse of the Heart, then there's nothing I can say.
It is a good song, man.
And he did what you did. He put a heart there instead of writing the word heart. Ted
I
Moore.
ran out of characters. Ron. I wasn't trying to be cute.
Ted Moore, Bonnie Tyler, and the biggest pole runaway of all time.
He's a Bonnie Tyler enthusiast.
I guess.
It seems.
I guess. Jim Parsons. I'm on the Walk of Fame. Well, my name is anyway.
Well,
it's
probably a great thing to tell women, The Walk of Fame is his wingman because some motherfucker that nobody knows somehow made it.
I mean, what was he, like a choreographer or something? Is Jim Parsons?
Choreographer. Yeah, well, he may have been. I don't know. Now I'm curious.
I don't know.
Ronnie, one thing that I can tell you that I'm not curious about is this episode today of the Ricky Cobb Show is brought to you by Prize Picks. You and I make decisions every day, but on Prize Picks, being right can get you paid. So head over to Prize Picks. Don't miss any of the excitement this season. In fact, Prize Picks, where it is good to be right. And look, I have said it many times, the only thing better than being right is being financially compensated for your correctness. And Prize Picks is the best place to win cash while watching sports. Join millions of users and sign up today. And when you do, I would encourage you to use my code Ricky. That's right, RICKY. And when you play your first $5 lineup, you're going to get $50 in lineups on the house. Sounds too good to be true, but it's not. Play a $5 lineup after using my code Ricky, and you will get $50 in lineups. Funny money for you to profit with, the best kind. Prize Picks. It's good to be right. Ronnie, tell us what is on the menu for you week 10, and we'll see if we continue our tradition of agreeing on one game every week.
So, Colts let me down last week. I think they'll bounce back. I think the Falcons just aren't very good. So I'm hoping the Colts bounce back. I feel like Buffalo is rolling right now, and I still, nothing about the Dolphins makes me think that they can hang with them, even though it is in Miami. I do like the Bucks, and they're at home, so that's not a lot of points. That's just a field goal. And dude, I think the Seahawks are really good. I think the Seahawks are actually really good. So that's at home also, and I'm gonna go with the Seahawks.
That's a good pick. I do like that pick. Ronnie, we do not agree on a game this week. We agree on two. That's right, Ron. Look at the left side of my board. I'm right there with you.
Yeah, so this just comes down to two games. This just only comes down to two games now.
Comes down to two games. Yeah. And what are we? Are we both 17 and 19?
We are both sad.
Is that? Look at this. God.
We're both sad.
We're both under 500. We agree on half of our games. I think that the Bears laying 4.5 against the injury decimated New York Giants at home seems to me to be a good deal. And the Panthers, they were so good to me last week. I took those 13.5 points and watched them go up to Lambeau Field and just flat out beat the Packers last week. I think the Panthers are still a little underrated. They're at home against the Saints. The Saints blow. So I'm going to ride with Carolina there. So, Ron, it has been an equality of shit for us so far this season. Pretty bad being under 500, but maybe we can use the Colts and the Buccaneers and a little bit of good fortune to both go 4-0. Have we ever had a week yet where we both ran the table?
I don't think I've ever gone 4. I don't think I've ever gone 4-0.
I think I had it.
That's just crazy. That just shows how hard this is, man. It's so hard. Like you'd think, you can win 4 out of 13 games. Come on, you can pick 4 out of 13 games. It's hard. It's really hard.
Yeah. What's really hard is when I have a week where I go 1-3, but then like the games that I was less confident in, I was right about most of them.
Oh,
do you ever have those weeks?
Ricky, let me tell you something.
You're like 1-3, but then you go like 7-2 on everything else, and you're like, what the fuck?
I consider in my heart, in my head, my biggest gambling losses are the ones that I look at and I'm like, I was gonna do it, and then I didn't, and I would have won.
Yeah. Like
the ones you don't make, but you thought about. That's the worst feeling. Way worse than losing a bet.
Yeah.
Ricky, do you like apple pie?
I'm not a huge fan. I don't like the big chunks of apple. If I can kind of poke my way around the fattest chunks of apple,
but you like apple pie.
I'll get in there.
Apple pie flavor. Do you like apple pie flavor? Like the flavor? If you can have the,
I like the flavor.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this.
I do like the flavor.
So let me ask you this. Do you like macaroni and cheese?
I sure do.
So
I'm a pretty good mac and cheese fan.
I have another question for you. Would you be interested? Okay. Would you be interested in an apple pie flavored macaroni and cheese?
What kind of psychopathic proposition is this, Ron?
Well,
of course not.
The fine folks at Kraft have come up with a limited edition of apple pie flavored macaroni and cheese. And you can only buy it online at Walmart. And so here's my take on it. I don't know if you've ever had, have you ever had like a slice of an apple with a slice of cheese on it? It actually tastes good. It's good.
Okay, well, let me ask you a question. Why the fuck would you know that? Like,
because
are you out there putting slices of cheese on apple slices like some maniac?
I'm upper crust, and I go to places where there are charcuterie boards, and that's a combination that you can go ahead and try sometimes.
Okay.
So, well, you don't get that kind of action at Taco Bell's, Ricky. So
I don't get that kind of action at McDonald's. They don't have apple pie flavored McNuggets or anything.
But it's definitely a flavor. It's definitely a flavor that goes together. I mean, you can go online and there are recipes for actual real apple pies that incorporate cheese onto them. But in my experience, anytime you have something like this, it's always the fake flavor, like cherry candy tastes incredibly different from an actual cherry. I just think this would be gross.
I mean, how it tastes better?
Oh, it tastes way better.
Cherry candy.
Oh, dude, wild cherry candy
tastes so much better than real cherries.
Yeah. So much better. So much better.
But that shit in a laboratory.
So I mean, for under $2, dude, for under $2, you could get a box of this and whip it up for Thanksgiving if you're interested.
I am so not tempted. That is it's probably sold out already. Every time you do one of these things where you tell me about some idiot product, it's always sold out.
The distressed hoodie and the apple mac and cheese.
Mayonnaise cologne. Remember that last year?
Well, I mean, the best one was Sydney Sweeney's bathwater soap. That was the best one. So you brought up McDonald's.
There it is.
You brought up McDonald's. So
I sure did.
30 years ago, two guys, I don't know why two guys did this, but Casey Dean and Edwards Nitz of Australia went into a McDonald's and they bought a quarter pounder. Well, that quarter pounder still exists.
Okay.
They've never refrigerated it. Nothing. They just have kept it wrapped in the paper that it comes in. And this is what it looks like today, Ricky. So all that McDonald's that you're eating, I think it might be packed with a lot of preservatives.
What year did you say this was again?
1995. 30 years.
Wow. Look at that. Well,
I mean, there's no mold, there's nothing, dude. That's scary.
That's, I don't know. I mean, maybe if I get enough preservatives in me, I'll become
It'll preserve you.
Ron, is that how it works? Yeah.
You know what?
People tell me I look a little younger than my age.
You're playing chess right now.
Maybe it's all those preservatives. Yeah.
Yeah, you're playing chess.
Guess who's laughing? Who's laughing now? It might be me, Ronnie. All right, thank you, Ronnie. As always, there you are back in the sidekick chair though for all polls of the day going forward. You have not been Wally pipped. I can tell you that. No, you have not been Wally pipped.
All right.
He's a he's a Pro Bowl quarterback. What am I going to do?
Listen,
not have him do that. That seems.
I like Jim. If somebody's going to steal my thunder for a day, I'm okay with it being Jim. I like Jim.
Yeah, he's a great guy. We love Jim Everett. All right, my friends. Today, in fact, is the day. It has arrived at last. The most patriotic award show on television happens tonight from New York City, live, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, hosted by Sean Hannity, and the First Lady of the United States, Melania Trump, will be joining him to receive the Patriot of the Year award, the very same award that was presented just last year to President Trump himself. This promises to be the biggest Patriot Award show yet, packed with special guests, surprise performances. We got brand new awards and a lot more. You can watch it live tonight, Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, and it all happens exclusively on FoxNation.com. You don't want to miss it. So my thanks today to Ronnie T-Shirts, to Jim Everett, to Molly and Adam and Colin and Tyler and everybody in Nashville, to P.A. Jarrett, and of course producer Tim, but most of all, I thank you sweet bastards, because you're the reason that we do this, that it's so much fun, and I thank you and I love you. I hope that you have a great weekend. Enjoy everything that you do. We'll be back with some content tomorrow, and we will look forward to seeing you again when we tee it high and let it fly with the next episode of The Ricky Cobb Show.